is Yuval Shrem from Fable Sounds, and we're very happy to announce a new edition for Broadway Big Band, Broadway Big Band Kontakt Edition. The new interface that you can see here is very streamlined. You don't have to use additional software like you needed to for the previous version. And a few new features that you can see. Here is the key switch monitor that you know from the old Broadway Big Band. You can see all of the changes happening in real time. The temporary articulations appear, but there are also a couple of new features that I would like to show you. First of all, you can see that now if you're not using all of the samples, all of your articulations that are loaded, like for example if you're doing a song and you know you're not going to be using plunger samples, then you can just dump them with this new feature. You just click here, and you see the memory drop. Now it's not loaded, you can continue working, and if in a week you change your mind and you want that articulation, it's still part of the program. You just go here, reload, click here, and it's back. We also have a new function for managing alternate cycles, since we have numerous alternate cycles in each instrument, like hundreds per instrument. This is finally a new way to lock performance when you do want it to sound the same the second time, because otherwise Broadway Big Band always sounds different, like a live player. And for people who don't know Broadway Big Band yet, just a few demonstrations of how this thing operates. This trumpet has about 40 articulations, real legato samples, real riportamento samples, real chromatic crans, and you can all access all of this in real time by just using key switches. Another cool thing with Broadway Big Band is it allows you to change articulations on the fly with key switches. So you have active behavior for key switches. You can change vibrato as you go. You can fall in the middle of a note, go up, and do a flutter tonguing. Fall with that. Basically anything that a trumpet player can do, you can do in real time with only your MIDI keyboard. You don't need any more controllers. We have 2 trumpets, 6 saxophones, clarinet, upright bass, ukulele, banjo, drum kits, both with sticks and brushes, tons of percussion, xylophone. In other words, you have a lot of amazingly recording instruments, all of them, with the exception of the drums, multi-mics, so you can use different microphones for different productions, so it will really fit into your mix in a perfect way. As with the original version of Broadway Big Band, we're talking about 100 gigabytes of audio, more than 140,000 samples in this collection, recorded in New York in the best rooms we could ever find there. Amazing musicians. You can look at the fablesounds.com website for a list of the musicians and their mini bios. They're really great musicians. We're offering a cross-grade for the current users, so that's important for you to know.
So what are the recommended requirements for this?
You know, anything that works with Kontakt will work. It is recommended to have RAM for this, but in fact the current version is not as RAM consumptive as it used to be, so I would say, you know, have at least 2 gigs of RAM, preferably more. But it's not insane. It's not insane. It's just, you know, it's a Kontakt-powered instrument. If you can run Kontakt 4 with other instruments, you can run this too.
Was it a challenge to maintain consistency of tone throughout the sessions?
It was. It was a huge challenge, especially with the saxophones. We had to. Each session started with testing several reeds until we matched the tone of the reed we used before, because reeds don't maintain sound. With the clarinet, it was a little easier because we used a special reed that was semi-synthetic, and it held for the entire recordings, process, which was months. I mean, the whole process was about a year. We recorded from the end of 2004 through the beginning of 2006. You know, it was a year of recording.
not every day, but you know, we're talking about more than 500 hours of recording studio time, not including any of the post stuff that took a long time beyond that. Very long days. But it was fun for the most part because the musicians were amazing. And it's always great to work with great musicians. I personally supervise all of the recordings. I personally worked with the musicians to keep them in the... And the main thing is not just the consistency, and the consistency was a big deal, but the main thing was to keep it alive. Because what I feel the weakness of most sample libraries that I knew so far was that they were very mechanically played. You could tell that the musician was tired or bored by the process of playing single notes.
It sounds like they're looking at a list and trying to cross off, you know.
Who can blame him? I mean, playing single notes in intervals for 5 hours at a time. We had 5-hour sessions, and it's grueling, but I had to keep it alive to remind them they were playing music, not notes. Whenever it was feeling wrong, we stopped, worked on it, got back into the attitude, because, you know, it's about 2/3 attitude and 1/3 sound when it gets to this, to make it sound as live. And we definitely went for the sound. We went for the amazing rooms where legendary albums were recorded at. And we worked with the best microphones, the best preamps, the best, you know, everything was pristine. Musicians that have their own solo albums, you know, in New York. The main thing, eventually, when you play it, is it alive? Are you playing music or are you playing notes? And with this library, you're playing music, which is what I'm the most proud of with this thing.